met him about a year and a half after he came out of prison. He wasn't yet president of South Africa. I don't even think he was president of the ANC yet. I mean, he was navigating that course, which was very, very dangerous and fraught. So, even while we were doing the book, he was negotiating constitution, negotiating the path to democratic elections. The book was about the 150th most important thing he had to do every day. It's his book, and I think the legacy is enormous. And I hear all the time from people who were influenced by it, who were moved by it. It's a hero's journey of someone who was born. It's almost like a fairy tale. Was born to a kind of aristocratic royal heritage, and then suffered a terrible, terrible fate, and then manages to rise above it. I think that's a mythological part of the story that also happens to be true. Well, my general operating principle is that more Nelson Mandela in the world is better than less Nelson Mandela in the world. And the tapes are an incredible resource and archive, not only of information, but an insight into him as a person. You hear things that you wouldn't hear in an interview today. Him just casually, someone brings in tea, he asks me if I'd have sugar in my tea, and I say no, and he's kind of appalled by that and talks about how he must have sugar in his tea in the morning, and just little insights into his personality and character, which was just incredibly kind of gracious and warm. And so as wonderful as it was to hear that again, it also made me miss it again. Listening to the tapes brought me back to our last official interview after 8 or 9 months. And I hear the kind of sadness in my voice as I'm asking questions. And then after the tape recorder was turned off, we hugged. And it was like the only time. He wasn't physical in that way. And we hugged and I embraced him. And I just, I felt very emotional. But I also thought about all the men and all the people over the years who had embraced him for strength, who were facing terrible circumstances, maybe even death, who held on to him for strength. And I felt that strength from him, and I felt that he understood that was his role, sometimes a lonely role, that he was giving strength to other people when he needed it himself. And so it was a powerful moment, and I relived that again when I was listening to the tapes.